We're almost there. Are you ready? Yeah. Yes. Good morning, everybody. Happy Metal Monday. I don't know if I can get that music level right, but it's close. How you doing? Hope you had a great weekend. I had a pretty decent one, although I had a scheduling thing that I almost forgot about. Holy smokes. I'll mention that. And my apologies to Maddie and Ronan, who I was going to join for breakfast Saturday morning. By the way, happy birthday, Ronan, if you're within earshot. I didn't tweet out the show this morning, I just realized. So maybe I might just have to retweet somebody else. Did anyone else tweet out the show? Oh, several of you did. Okay. Well, we're going to do, let's see. Well, I'm just going to retweet people. I got Somnambule Nation. Maybe. What's wrong with my mouse? Anyway, we're going to get caught up in the news today because there's a whole lot of stuff. This is going to be just kind of quick hits all day because I want to make sure I get through this. Also, thank you, Mansquatch. Also, I see a bunch of you. Oh, what the hell did I do there? Anyway, Metal Monday, Morning Night Live. Shut up! That's me. No. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's try this again. All right, there we go. I'm retweeting everybody. So, thank you so much for joining me today. But it's time to get the show started. Johnny, please play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dog Night.
Yeah, sorry for that echo thing. I know that happens sometimes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Morning Night Live. What the hell happened there? Hi, I'm Marty, also known as P-Dog Night on the internet. Welcome to the Morning Night Live on this Monday, the 11th of July, 2022, in the middle of White History Month. If you don't get the joke, that's a little Jesse Lee Peterson humor. But anyway, it's Metal Monday, and who knows? Maybe I'll do a little musical background today. Although that's a little loud. Let's try that a little softer. Oh, I can't really tell. How does that sound to you? That's what I should ask. Is it just a light bit of ambiance in the background, or is that really noisy? Well, that's just some cymbals and hi-hats. Ding, 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 ding. Anyway, welcome to the show. I'm glad you're here. Let's say good morning to everybody, and then we'll get it on. Let's get it on. You know what I mean? Let's get it on. First in chat today, and very deserving of the bell, is our friend Maddie. And there we go. Also, good morning, Trippy Liberty, Mike Savage, Blarg, Avocados Diabli, Rachel Madhouse, Dildos in the house. So is that drove me up. Natasha Kayleen, good morning, my friend. Also, Tyre Alexander's here. Lord Stanhope, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Mansquatch, Keenan, Selecta Boy.
Yeah, boy.
Also, good morning to Somnambule Nation. Let's see, who else is here? I'm scrolling. Is that everybody? Attack Alpacas in the house. Nice to have you. Also, Simon Wolfwood, what's up? Rotten Corpse is here. I said Mansquatch already, right? Why are you so angry? The name, not the question. Also, good morning, Rod Line. Welcome back. My pronouns are he, him, and my adjectives are fucking and awesome. Oh, well, there you go. And K-Shell's in the house. I think that's everybody. No, oh, Jordan, what's up? Jordan 250. And Nomad.
Stop. Hammer time.
All right, shall we begin? Is this how's this? Okay, just strictly on the music level. Is it too loud? You know, for me though, because the way it comes in my headphones, it's really too. It messes up my concentration. Oh, Data Wasteland! I'm so sorry. You are not Shop Liver. Also, good morning to HP Lovecraft. What's up? You were way down here. Did I miss the hellos? No, I'm just where. Were you up here somewhere? Did I actually skip you up here? I'm scrolling. Okay, there you are. I did. Oh, I feel awful. Well, don't take it personally. I am an old man, and I'm still learning how to do this technology shit. So, fuck it. I got my cup of coffee. Shall we begin? I'm going to turn this music down. I can't do it. Certain types of music I can concentrate on, but well, is that really loud? I don't know. No one's even told me. Is this loud? No, it's not too loud. Oh, it's fine. I'm going to turn my monitor down. How's that? Then I don't have to hear it. But you guys can hear it just fine. You can hear me over the music? All right. It's Metal Monday on the Morning Night Live. I have random metal music on here, and let's get started. All right, so over the weekend, there's a whole bunch of stuff. So I got tabs galore. So it's going to be kind of hot. What do you call it? What is it called? Quick hit Monday on Metal Monday. Because there's just all kinds of stuff. Now, the first thing though that I'm kind of happy about this one, because this man got a lot of shit for a certain status that he has, and I think it's important to recognize people of this status who are doing great things in the world. And I'm, this is not a sports. Jimmy Das Hotep, what's up? What's up? Oh wait, I was gonna tell you about my weekend first. Thank you for reminding me, Jimmy Das Hotep. Yes, I did have a good weekend. So we were gonna do a trail stop stream on Saturday, and then on Friday night, my wife goes, "Oh wait, when is our friend from Spain coming over?" And I'm like, "What?" See, it's not our friend, it's our friend's mother from Spain, and we had planned to have them come over on a Saturday to go hang out in the pool and just whatever. And her mom doesn't speak any English whatsoever, but her neighbor who's traveling with her, they're on a big holiday, they're in the United States for a month, and they were supposed to come over to our house yesterday, and we completely forgot about it until our friend told us. Well, I completely forgot about it. I don't know if Lady Boomer did, but I completely forgot about it. And until our friend's like, we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. And I'm like, what? Tomorrow? What time? And they were coming over at noon, and I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'm not going to be able to do a trail stop stream. But anyway, we hung out by the pool all day, and her mom's really nice. She, like I said, she didn't speak any English, but her friend spoke English, and our friend and her wife, they were there with too, and they both translated. So we had a really good time just hanging out on the patio for about 6 hours. I mean, we were there all day, and it was really nice. And then yesterday we had a couple friends over and a neighbor, whatever. But anyway, it was just a relaxed. This is a rare weekend where I had nowhere to go. I did not have to be anywhere. I did not have any plans. And it was just like, okay, we're going to chill here. I took some video of my flowers. By the way, if you follow me on Instagram, which is right here, yes, that Marty, I posted a couple. I do a lot. Every once in a while I post those. What do they call them on Instagram? They call them Reels. They're kind of like TikToks, but they're on Instagram instead. Like YouTube has the Shorts, Instagram has the Reels, and then TikTok has the TikToks. Well, I put videos on there mainly just of nature, flowers, places we go, and occasionally I put, occasionally I put myself on there. But anyway, go check out my Instagram. Yes, that Marty. On Twitter, I'm at PDogKnight, and I'm pretty much PDogKnight on everything. Twitter, Minds Gap, Parler, Getter. I might even open a Truth Social account now, because I just want I'm only going to follow one person on Truth Social. I promise myself, because I'm on so many other damn things. But who do you think the only person is that I'm going to follow on Truth Social? Oh no, that's not true. So I'm going to follow. I just want to follow Donald Trump because I want to get a good laugh. But I think I'm also going to follow every left-wing media person that actually goes on Truth Social, because a lot of them are going on there now apparently because that's the only place where you can, get. I mean, obviously, people post Donald Trump shit on Twitter all the time, but I think it's just funny that there's a bunch of leftists on Truth Social because they have to be just so they can follow Donald Trump. Hell, Gavin Newsom is on what's that called? Truth Social. Oh no, I'm not on Telegram. I don't even know what Telegram is. I should probably figure that one out too. But I'm not on Telegram yet. So anyway, all right, let's get into. Like I said, I got a whole bunch of news today. So let's just wait. What's going on here? Oh, that's notifications. Where's my? Oh no! What did I do? Oh, I see what I did. Okay, let me fix this real quick. Then I can get into the news. I forgot. I don't have a separate Twitter handle open today, so now I gotta fix that. What happened to? Oh no! What happened to? Well, this is not good. Really high subject. The news that I wanted to show you. That was I was going to honor somebody today. Oh, it's right there. No wonder. Okay. Ah, man. I moved this here. Move that there. Okay, I'm ready. I am ready. I'm done making the sausage. Let's fix this thing. So anyway, I was going to tell you. Sometimes people with certain status just have a hard time in the world, and the whole world seems to be against them and goes against them, and so I always find it fantastic when these underdogs, these poor downtrodden people triumph over the evil that is the world, right? Triumph over the hello Eddie Haskell, Friendster and MySpace. Okay. Y'all are starting to talk about different places. Anyway, when people overcome evil, and this weekend, my favorite person who has overcome evil is oh God, come on, damn it. Let's see. Please tell me this is working. There we go. Okay, here. My favorite person that has overcome evil over the weekend is none other than Novak Djokovic. Novak Djokovic, the tennis star, has won his 4th straight Wimbledon title, 21st Grand Slam overall. Congratulations, Novak Djokovic, who is an inspiration to people all over the world because, he's that guy that said, you know what? I am not interested in your Fauci juice, in your AstraZeneca, and your any other juice. I'm a young, healthy male, and I have serious concerns. And they kicked him out of, I think, the Australian Open. They wouldn't let him go, and they arrested him and shit. And then they threatened that he wouldn't be able to go to the Wimbledon and the French Open, whatever. Well, Novak Djokovic has triumphed over evil. He got to play in Wimbledon. I keep saying Wimbledon. For some reason, Americans say Wimbledon when it's really Wimbledon. And so I'm saying it correctly now. And the Serbian star beat Nick Kyrgios in an enthralling final in center court, 4-6, 6-3, 6-4, 6-6, 7-3, whatever, the tiebreaker, the 4th set, in 4 sets. He was in an early deficit against Kyrgios as Kyrgios got off to a fast start, but the experienced 35-year-old fought his way back to win his 7th Wimbledon title that he's won in 2018, 2019, 2021, and after 2020 was canceled due to the stupid 19, and he has overcome all the knuckleheads who said, you know what, they're not going to let him play anymore because he doesn't have the jab. But he is now, again, Wimbledon champion. He's on his way to be the greatest tennis star in the male side. Well, just period. He's the greatest. On his way to be the greatest male side or tennis star in the world of all times ever. So congratulations, Novak Djokovic. Tonight, Ebony Williams is here. Hello, Ebony. How are you, my friend? Also, now on that note, I this is going to be a show where I'm pretty much doing headlines and tweets. And I saw an interesting tweet because another base doctor has tweeted something that I found fascinating. And this person is Dr. Horace Drew. Dr. Horace Drew is a professional scientist, expert on DNA structure, and then he has all these letters behind his names, but he's also expert on UFOs, crop circles, and other matters. But he's a Caltech, as in the, is Caltech the California something of technology, whatever? It's Caltech. It's one of those hoity-toity super tech schools in California. He's a PhD. And also he has some letters from his under's name from Cambridge and something in Australia. Anyway, he writes, writing as a professional scientist. Science, you blind me with science. He said, I would like to emphasize that any vacation, you know, my pseudonyms for certain words. Any vacation which requires 5 doses once every 3 months just to reduce symptoms, but not infection or transmission, would never be approved under normal circumstances. Please get a grips on facts and realities. And he has been retweeted and liked a plethora of times. And I just have to have my hats off to Dr. Horace R. Drew. Apparently, but people were kind of upset about this. But some people were liking it. Like this person, I had 0 doses and I'm still here too. I have autoimmune issues and asthma, and I just got over stupid 19 a few weeks ago. Guess what? You've had 5 jabs of something that could cause all kinds of future issues and probably would have been just fine skipping them. Well, I'm in that pure blood boat, but I don't know. I may have to. It sucks. I may have to get it for an actual vacation, not the pseudonym vacation. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting. That's another professional out there who's probably going to get canceled at his university and will never get funding for any more research in the rest of his life. But we have to give him credit for speaking out and saying F you to the Dr. Fauci's of the world. All right, moving on. Got a lot of stuff from the Discord server today. By the way, if you have not joined the Discord server, the news section on there, Gunfox is really diligent about putting news in the news section. And I've got several just items here that I'm going to touch on that you can go check those out. Apparently, over the 4th of July weekend, a hero citizen thwarts a mass shooting plan for the 4th of July in Richmond, Virginia. Rich what? Richmond. Rich what? Richmond. Rich what? Authorities and officials of Virginia said a tip from the public resulted in the thwarting of a potential mass shooting plan for the 4th of July celebrations in the city of Richmond. Working on a tip, our officers quietly investigated and collaborated with their law enforcement partners and the community to stop what could have been a terrible day for the city of Richmond. Richmond Mayor LeVar Stoney said during a press conference on Wednesday. Richmond Police Chief Gerald Smith told reporters that a hero citizen had called authorities on July 1st concerning an overheard conversation that there was to be a mass shooting at the Dogwood Amphitheater where festivities were planned. The tip spearheaded an investigation that took officers to a residence in the 3100 block of Columbia Street where they found evidence in plain view that corroborated the citizen's complaint. So, good. That's the way it should work. Tipsters should tip people off and save lives of their fellow citizens. So there. Moving on. Apparently, the Democrats in Ohio have proposed legislation that people could sue someone over an unintended pregnancy, and it would hold deadbeats' dads to account. Oh, wait a minute. A Democratic bill allowing people to sue someone over an unintended pregnancy would hold deadbeat dads to account, says conservative Christians. Now that's interesting. Ohio Democrats proposed legislation that would allow people to sue someone who impregnated them. The bill has been proposed as Ohio bans abortion after 6 weeks of pregnancy in light of the Roe versus Wade appeal. Aaron Baer, president of the Center for Christian Virtue, says it will tackle hookup culture and hold deadbeat dads to account. Now that's interesting. Just the tip from a tipster, right? An Ohio Democrat. Okay, so he proposed legislation. Now this, I have to laugh because this is a story that came from what? Where'd it come from? Is this an AP story? I don't know. The language on this kind of cracks me up. An Ohio Democrat has proposed legislation allowing pregnant people to sue the person who pregnated them, regardless of whether the sex in question was consensual or not. Interesting. Senator Tina Marahaf has proposed the bill in light of the U.S. Supreme Court repealing of Roe versus Wade, which triggered a bill in Ohio that bans abortion after 6 weeks. The bill would allow any person may bring civil action against another person who either causes the person to have an unintended pregnancy, regardless of the circumstances, or aids and abets any other person in causing the person to have an unintended pregnancy, regardless of the circumstance. Now, how the hell? Okay, wait a minute. Hold up. I'm confused about the last part. How do you aid and abet any other person in causing the person to have an unintended pregnancy? So if, let's say, your girlfriends get you shit-faced at the bar, and then you go hook up with some guy because he looked good over at the other side of the bar, and then you get pregnant, can you sue your girlfriends who got you drunk that night? I'm confused. It's called child support. True. Yes, child support is already a thing. That's what I thought too. Anyway, in a statement, Marahara said, regardless of circumstances, I felt it was important to have that vague language due to the fact that abortion is now banned here in the state of Ohio. The bill would allow a person who caused a pregnancy to pay damages of not less than $5,000, as well as court costs and attorney fees. Marahath's bill is yet to be heard by the Senate committee, while Republican lawmakers have said they are pushing a total ban on abortions when their session resumes in November. The average cost of giving birth in our state is over $15,000 and can rise substantially if there are complications. That too often is, okay. So I'm fascinated with this because someone named Aaron Baer, president of Ohio Center for Christian Virtue, announced his support of Bill 262, saying it will tackle hookup culture and hold deadbeat dads accountable. Okay, interesting. So wow, a woman can get you drunk, sleep with you, and get pregnant and sue you. That is fucked up. Well, that's the other part. That's the part that I wasn't quite understanding. Hello, DI, by the way, and Tyler F. and Mr. Brushface. Welcome to the show. Yeah, I don't know. So, sure, we can hook up. I know that sex can cause pregnancy, but I'm going to sue you if you get me pregnant. Looks like a great pickup line. Maybe birth control isn't even needed. I'm just reading the comments down here. Exactly. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. How do you also, I'm just curious. Okay, let's say, okay. Well, would that slow down hookup culture? I suppose if you saw a few cases of that, you'd be concerned. Scribe Light, Dog Rapper. Nice to see you. All right. Interesting. Anyway, all these articles, by the way, they'll be in the link in the description down below at the end of the show. I will update all of them. It'll be in a single link, second paragraph at the end of the show during the outro. I update that, and when you click that link, all these articles will be listed on a single page. And I'm just going to keep going through these in order. So anyway, okay, let's move on. Oh, have you heard about these assholes? So they're the tire extinguishers activists are deflating SUV tires in major U.S. cities. I think we talked about this before, but apparently they're starting to spread in the United States. If you happen to see one of these people deflating your tire, I suggest Well, is there anything like Tire Iron Justice or some shit like that? Anyway, the UK-based activist group called the Tire Extinguishers has landed in the US and claims they deflated tires on dozens of SUVs in several major cities, including New York, Chicago, and the Bay Area. Okay, I encourage these idiots to go to Brooklyn and the south side of Chicago and Watts, and I want them to just run around and walk around deflating tires and just see how that works out for them. But anyway, the group says the thirsty SUVs significantly contribute to climate change, has no official leadership, but encourages independent participation through social media and offers a hallmark note to be left on the victim's car. Boasting about the action on Twitter, the group took the opportunity to share links to its manifesto. As you might guess from the spelling, the group has its roots in the UK. The BBC reports the activist group has deflated tires on hundreds of SUVs across London. Their primary targets have been high-wealth neighborhoods like Chelsea, Belgravia, and Notting Hill. Well, here's the thing. Boy, oh boy, would that be interesting if you get caught doing that shit, especially in the wrong neighborhood, or someone who happens to have, large boots or, whatever, concealed carry shit. I don't know. If I caught someone, well, I don't know. Well, does a pickup truck count as an SUV though? Because I drive a pickup. I don't know if that counts. I'm telling you though, someone would get a large size. Well, here's the thing. Here's what would happen if I caught somebody doing that to my truck. They would need a specialized size 14 anal extraction kit because my boot would be all the way up their ass. So anyway, moving on. Apparently, a Spirit Airlines had a plane tire catch on fire at the Atlanta airport. But the passengers are told by the crew to remain in their seats. Well, what are you going to do? What are your choices when you're on a plane and you see a tire catch on fire? The back wheel of a Spirit Airlines plane burst into flames after it landed at the Atlanta airport, leaving terrified passengers to watch smoke billowing past the window. The flight had just landed on Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport when the overheated brakes caused the tire to ignite, officials said. And there's some pictures of the plane with billowing smoke from one of the tires. I can't tell which one. And the passengers' footage from outside the plane shows flames and smoke billowing from the jet's left rear tire. Video of the incidents from inside the plane was posted on social media by a passenger. It shows flight crews trying to calm down frantic holidaymakers. Yes, look, if they tell you to sit the fuck down, and you should be okay, they got it under control, hopefully. Video, let's see. As passengers scramble to the windows, the crew urges them to remain seated and insists the plane did not need to be evacuated. Ladies and gentlemen, stay seated, stay seated. We do not have to evacuate now. One woman can be heard saying over the speakers. Sounds of seatbelts clipping open can be heard between announcements. Anyway, so yeah, if a tire catches on fire on a plane, you probably have some time to get out of the plane. You'll be all right. Yes, damn hot landing. Exactly, Mr. Brushface. We're all gonna die. It would be pretty nerve-wracking though. You see billowing smoke from fire and shit. But anyway, all right, let's keep it going. A pregnant woman who was slapped with a $215 ticket for driving in a high-occupancy vehicle lane claims her fetus should count as a passenger now that Texas law considers them to be a person after Roe v. Wade. This moron. A pregnant woman who's given a ticket for using a HOV lane, which is I don't know if you have HOV lanes where you live. In certain cities that have high traffic patterns, they'll have a special lanes for carpools and motorcycles and buses and shit. Like you can go in that lane and it'll be less congested in theory. Well, she decided to drive in one of these carpool lanes. I always call them carpool lanes, but they also, like they do a lot of motorcycles and whatnot, but high occupancy vehicles. And the idea is you get fewer cars on the road because people will carpool, right? Well, A pregnant woman who was given a ticket for using an HOV in lane of Texas Highway claimed her unborn baby should count as a person and allow her to use the lane normally reserved for multiple passengers. Brandy Batone from Plano, Texas, is 34 weeks pregnant and was speeding to pick up her son from school when she was pulled over by the police. When asked why she was using the high occupancy vehicle lane by an officer, she decided to use the overturning of Roe versus Wade and the banning of abortions in the state to her advantage. But she was told that being pregnant didn't count. I was driving to pick up my son. I knew I couldn't be a minute late, so I took the HOV lane. As I exited the HOV, there was a checkpoint at the end of the exit. I slammed on my brakes and I was pulled over by police. An officer peeked in and asked, "Is there anybody else in the car?" Batone told the Dallas Morning News. I put it in my stomach and said, "My baby girl is right here. She is a person." But the officer wasn't having. Okay, so look. Now, if she'd have reached down and oh God, I'm not going to say what I was going to say. Look, when they say high occupancy vehicle, they mean more than people in more than one seat. More than one seat. So I'm not even going to say it. Okay, you finish the sentence that I was going to say. Well, if she would have reached down, and I'm going to stop right there. We ain't going there. I'm not going there. That wasn't pretty, I got to tell you, that is some pretty quick thinking, though. All right. Hey, this is Kyle and Civic Magic are in the house. Nice to see you. Moving on. We were talking about Brittany Griner last week. Well, Brittany Griner, as you know, pleaded guilty to her possession of hashish something vape oil, right? Which is illegal in Russia. And so she's been in jail in Russia and she finally pleaded guilty, which a lot of people are like, after the United States said, oh, they had no reason to hold her. And then she ended up pleading guilty, hoping to get some clemency. Well, I don't know if that's going to work, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, Vice President Harris told CBS Robert Costa in an interview that the Biden administration is making it a priority to bring WNBA star Brittany Griner home from detention in Russia. Now, I do have one qualm with that sentence. WNBA star. That's a stretch. Anyway, no, she is a WNBA star. It's just depending on if the WNBA is a star league. But anyway, now this is one of those. Here's a sentence from Kamala Harris, but you never really know what's going to come out of Kamala Harris's mouth. I'm not going there either. We take seriously, and we've been very clear, Brittany Griner, and there are sadly other Americans who are being unlawfully detained around the world, and it is our highest priority list to bring those folks home, she told Costa in the interview that aired on CBS's Face the Nation on Sunday. Now, here's where they're going to have a problem. This language that she just used, Americans who are being unlawfully detained around the world, implying that Brittany Griner was being unlawfully detained. Maybe Vice President Harris didn't get the memo, but Brittany Griner pleaded guilty to the charge that she is being charged with. So, Diablo, you caught the joke. Nothing ever comes out of Kamala's mouth. I hear she swallows. Yes, I'm not 100% sure, and I'm not gonna find out. But anyway, the vice president continued, I can't talk to you about the details of what's happening behind the scenes. Yeah, well, not a whole lot. And but I can tell you it's one of our highest priorities to bring these Americans home. Yeah, look, this is a tough one because, as I said last time I talked about this, the United States and Russia don't have the greatest relationship right now. We've spent 6 years blaming the Russians on saying they colluded with Donald Trump to steal an election, but then you can't talk about the 2020 election, but you can still talk about the Russians and the 2016 election. Also, in their little conflict, I shouldn't say little conflict, but their conflict with Ukraine, the United States seems to be supplying Ukraine with billions and billions and billions of dollars worth of weapons and lots of money being laundered through the billions and billions of dollars of weapons. I don't know if the big guy's getting 10% on any of that, but I just don't see this negotiation going real smoothly. Anyway, but the vice president is now saying that bringing Brittany home is a priority. Leave Brittany alone. Anyway, hello, Sean. What's up? Unlawfully detained. Did they break the law? Yeah, she did break the law. She pleaded guilty to breaking a law. So, anyway, I can't imagine how high a priority this is. But as Brittany's coach said, if it were LeBron James, he'd be already home. No. You took drugs into a foreign land, and be glad you're not in Singapore or what is another country that wouldn't be good? Turkey would be a terrible country to take drugs to because you'd already be euthanized. Anyway, moving on. The president of the United States, moving on from the vice president to the president, apparently now he is mulling a health emergency in the United States. Hell, yes, that was a very good point. That's why I stole it, Sean. Biden is mulling a health emergency for abortion access. Now, that sounds a little strange to me. President Joe Biden said Sunday he's considering declaring a public health emergency to free up federal resources to promote abortion access, even though the White House has said it doesn't seem like a great option. Yeah, He also offered a message to people enraged by the Supreme Court ruling last month that ended a constitutional right. Wait a minute. Did it end a constitutional right, or did it say there never was a constitutional right? Anyway, ended a constitutional right to abortion and who have been demonstrated across the country. Joe Biden's message to the people enraged is keep protesting, keep making your point. It's critically important. Yeah, if you didn't see it over the weekend, the Justice Kavanaugh was eating at a Morton Steakhouse, and protesters outside were protesting quite loudly, and basically he ended up having to leave out the back door, and because it's always a good idea to protest a judge who's and try to influence a judge by a protest, which is a federal crime, but that's okay. Anyway, and then the White House said, if they are doing it peacefully, they should just keep doing it. Not those exact words, but basically. Anyway, the president, in remarks to reporters during a stop on a bike ride, which he did not fall down, said he lacks the power to force the dozen-plus states with strict restrictions or outright bans on abortion to allow the procedure. Well, at least he knows that. I don't have the authority to say that we're going to reinstate Roe versus Wade as the law of the land, he said, referring to the Supreme Court's decision from 1973 that it established a national right to abortion. Well, it wasn't a law, it was an edict from the Supreme Court. Anyway, Biden said Congress would have to codify that right, and for that to have a better chance, future voters would have to elect more lawmakers who support abortion access, which isn't looking good right now because it's pretty low on the priority list for voters in the country right now because, people want to eat and be able to get to work, and it's costing them a hell of a lot of money to do that right now. All right. Real quick, let me do my shill for the day. That would be my shill. The Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please do me a favor. The number one most important thing you can do these days is share the stream before, during, and after the stream, because that's how we get people to join us more and more. The more the merrier. And then also, if you'd be kind to hit the like button sometime in the show. Some of you have already done that, some of you haven't. While you're thinking about it, also if you're watch on replay, put a comment in the comment section. And finally, if you want to sponsor the show, my Streamlabs link is pdognight.live. That's there 24 hours a day. I read all the messages on the show. And if you prefer to, if you don't like the Streamlabs, Streamlabs? Streamlabs. If you don't like Streamlabs, then you can also do YouTube Super Chats, or there's a couple other options in the description down below. All right, enough of this show. Let's move on, because like I said, it's quick hit day. I got to get through a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm going to do it today in a manner that is conducive to everyone hearing everything, and then you can look up the stuff and get more details by clicking the link in the description below, where all these articles will be under one single link. P-Dog Night, you all know Biden tried to overturn Roe versus Wade in 74 and again in 85. Did he now? Interesting. Biden did. Well, he doesn't remember anything from 1974 or 1985. He doesn't remember what color socks he put on this morning, but it's all good. Oh, and good morning to Legit Low Talker. How you doing? All right. Anyway, all right, let's move on. Now, the other, we talked about that bodega worker, right? The guy who, girlfriend, apparently her EBT card got declined, and then she, got all mad and went out and got her boyfriend. Boyfriend came back, threatened the guy behind the counter, went behind the counter, started beating on the guy. The guy grabs a knife, and he put cuts in the man, and it was an ending. And well, apparently during this fracas, I like that word, fracas. During the fracas, apparently the woman also attacked the bodega worker with a knife, but afterwards the bodega worker, who was a 62-year-old gentleman who was clearly acting in self-defense, the New York Attorney General or city attorney or whatever charged the bodega worker with murder, right? And had him a $250,000 bail, and they was in Rikers Island for a minute, and then somehow they, people saw the miscarriage of justice and they lowered the bail, and he's out of bail, but he's still charged with murder, right? And the woman with the knife is still not charged, and people are saying, well, no one ever saw her do it. There's nothing that, we don't know if she actually tried to do anything. Well, apparently, according to our friend Sonny Johnson, now there is a video of the woman stabbing the bodega worker, and she is still not charged. The person defending themselves faces 25 years in jail. These are progressive laws that have been in effect for decades. The guilty are free while the innocent suffer. And, yeah, Sonny, that's spot on, and it's very, very unfortunate. All right, let's move on, because I'm good. Apparently, Steve Bannon, the January 6th committee resumes tomorrow, but Steve Bannon, apparently, who had, they had requested, they subpoenaed him to testify, and he said, fuck it, I'm not testifying, go fuck yourselves. Well, and apparently they were going to try to put him in jail for not testifying, and now Steve Bannon has informed the January 6th committee that he is willing to testify. The Wall Street Journal, the New York Times report, Bannon, a former White House advisor to President Donald Trump, was charged last year for defying a subpoena issued by a select committee. Just like, what's that, Eric Holder? He was in contempt of Congress too. I think everyone should be in contempt of Congress, but that's a whole nother story. Anyway, Bannon has agreed to testify, although he has a stipulation. He wants his testimony to be public. And I agree that his testimony should be public. And I don't know why I'm saying public, although this picture makes him look a little bit like Ron White, doesn't it? So, Ron White has that thing about being drunk in public. But anyway, so Steve Bannon he's willing to testify, but he wants it in a public hearing, which it should, because a lot of this January 6th shit, they've been doing the testimony, whatever, behind closed doors, and then they put out a transcript where the entire transcript is redacted. Oh, we put out the transcript, but it's redacted, sorry. Anyway, if he's facing jail and fines, but he's agreed to testify, he wants it in public, and there's a whole bunch of people out there saying, why should they let him testify in public? Well, all this shit should be in public. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. Anyway, so that's news. Let's see what else we got. Oh, Chuck Norris is trending this morning. Now, only because Elon Musk this morning tweeted this little meme here. This little meme of here. You'll put this on screen so you can see the whole damn thing. I thought this is a funny meme. And so Elon Musk, he basically tweeted that to the Twitter people. Where'd the message go? Oh shoot! I don't know what happened to the message. Anyway, oh, here it is. Here's the other one. So Elon Musk taunts Twitter with a Chuck Norris meme, and oh, damn it! Why is that doing that? God, I hate when that happens. Because this was the best one, the one from the Daily Mail. Well, anyway, so he's just, Elon Musk was going to buy Twitter, right? He was going to buy Twitter. And they said, we don't want you to buy Twitter. We don't want you to buy Twitter. You'd be bad for the world if we buy Twitter. And then Elon Musk kind of beat their hand, and they said, okay, we're going to let you buy Twitter. We're going to let you buy Twitter. But, and Elon Musk said, but you have to have some of this shit has to be real. You can't have all these bots, yada, yada, yada. What's your, you need to give me information on how much of this are real people and how much is bots. And Twitter says, we don't have to tell you about the bots. We don't have to tell you. We don't have to tell you. So then Elon Musk says, well, fuck it. If you're not going to tell me what I want to know for this business transaction, which I'm paying $40 billion, I'm not going to buy Twitter. And now Twitter's saying, well, you have to buy Twitter. You have to buy Twitter. And we're going to sue you so you buy Twitter. And then Elon Musk says, oh, you're going to sue me so that I have to buy Twitter? Well, let's do a little discovery and find out how many bots there are. Oh, that is some Chuck Norris chess right there. And that's why he tweeted this little Chuck Norris meme. I can beat you with a pawn. So there you go. All right, that's the reason for the Chuck Norris meme. Moving on. Let's see. Oh, so this was just fun. This was just funny to me because people who like to tattle on people and try to get people fired because of things they say or tweet or something they do in public. Well, somebody named Gregarious here said to this person, so this person tweeted something, Kamala Harris talks like she has a translator earpiece on and it has water damage. And I'm like, oh, absolutely correct. That is so spot on. Well, this person was very upset that someone would tweet something about the greatest vice president in the history of the planet, Kamala Harris. And so this Karen-esque human being said, oh, Brady Gupta, don't bother to delete your tweet. I took a screenshot for your employer. Now, Brady Gupta is a writer on The Simpsons, right? And so, first of all, do you think the people at The Simpsons give a fuck what Brady Gupta said about Kamala Harris? But this person thinks that this was so nasty that this would be something that would get you fired from your job. So they saved the tweet so they could do a screenshot for your employer to try to get this person fired. To which I said, or at least I thought, my first thought was, hey, so you saved this screenshot for the employer so that they can do what? Confirm that the Kamala Harris talks like she has a translator earpiece on and has water damage? But this is not even the juiciest part. I hate people who do this kind of shit, right? I think it's stupid. I don't care which side of the aisle you're on. I don't think you should just go after people's jobs because they have an opinion that you don't like. Well, somebody on the internet found this. Gregarious. February 9th, 2013. Contacting someone's employer because of foul tweets is a bitch-ass move. Period. Then And 22. Hey Disney, do you approve of the tweet? This is a tweet from your employee? Dude. Oh yeah, because he tweeted Disney. I guess Disney has something to do with Simpsons now. I'm not 100% sure, but anyway, I don't. Does Disney own the Simpsons? I'm not really sure. But anyway, yeah. Contacting someone's employer because of foul tweets is a bitch-ass move, period. Apparently, Mr. Geezy here, Gregarious or whatever, had an experience with that. So anyway, moving on. So I put this in my tabs today, and I will link this in the one tab link when I put everything up here. I don't know if I'm allowed to read this though, and I'm in a dilemma right now. So, but I am just reading YouTube what Rasmussen Reports has written on Twitter in public. So I'm reporting news, not necessarily endorsing. Hold on. Not necessarily endorsing what it's saying. I don't know. I'm just reporting. You know what I mean? Oh, yes, they own Fox. Disney owns Fox now? Oh, that sucks. Well, I hope they don't. I hope this. Well, the Simpsons. How long? Simpsons been around like 30 years, hasn't it? Anyway, I hope they don't go woke. Anyway, so back to this tweet here from Rasmussen Reports, and I'm only reporting on this. I am not endorsing this in any way, shape, or form. Maricopa County, Arizona volunteers are the only American voters who were able to examine their 2020 election ballots after the election was certified. They donated over 100,000 hours of personal time to do so. What they found below is shocking. What the media did was hide their story. Now, how much of this should I even read? Well, there's an article, and there's a video which you can find in Rumble. I'll link the video. How's that sound? Let's link the video. I don't want it to play though, so let me hit the pause button on it. It does not play automatically. All right, you can. This is behind the Arizona office, but anyway, some of the things they found. The Arizona Maricopa County audit of the 2020 election was conducted from April 22nd to September 24th, 2021. 2.1 million ballots were processed by hand. Over 1,500 volunteers donating over 100,000 hours of their time. All counters were Maricopa County residents who voted in the 2020 election. Each person was run through a standard background check. Some of the findings in their own words. 1, I would watch the ballots go by, and there were odd patterns. 7 of those ballots for Biden, 1 for Trump. 7 for Biden, 1 for Trump. 7 for Biden, 1 for Trump. That clearly doesn't. Well, that's not statistically possible. There were a lot of things we noticed. This is another person. There were a lot of things we noticed that were not organic. The bubbles being filled in absolutely perfect. It was obviously not done by a human hand, as though they were printed. A human being did not do that. Also, someone said, it looks like someone who had stained the ballots on purpose. There were large pieces missing. When a ballot is soiled or damaged, the startling thing is another human being is now determining your intent. They have now effectively voted for you. And the fourth one, the volunteers stop and look at a ballot. The paper was very, very thin. The paper was really thin because they moved it. Gestures as if waving a fan. It was really thin. All counted ballots in Maricopa County are printed on 80-pound vote-secure ballot paper stock, except they weren't. 10 different types of weights of paper were found by the voter volunteers who examined 2.1 million ballots. And then they have a link to a video here. So I guess there's nothing to report. I'm just reporting on what they said. I can't claim the veracity of what they said, but if you want to watch the video on that, it will be in the links down below, called The American Faces Behind the Audit. Moving on. I'm not going to have a feature called The Daily Ben Shapiro, but this one I just happened to catch, and it's only 3 tweets long, and I thought it was pretty interesting regarding the current president of the United States. Yes, President Pudding Brain. Ben Shapiro says, the reason Democrats are suddenly realizing Joe Biden is old is because he's physically incapable of expressing the performative outrage that now substitutes for actually policy success or argument. This is why Pete Buttigieg trends for defending people being harassed at dinner over abortion, because the Democrats believe that all norms and niceties are completely irrelevant when people don't give them what they want. According to the Democrats and their media lapdogs, if you say that a trans woman is a biological male, this amounts to violence. If you track down a SCOTUS justice who was nearly assassinated a month ago and harass him at a restaurant with his family, this is free speech. Yeah, this is the whole thing on that, on them harassing the justices at their homes and in their when they go out to eat, whatnot. It's like, aren't you the same people that says words are violence? Yes, words are violence. Anyway, in the Hill over the weekend, this I was looking at this article that what's her name? What's the girl from Who's the Boss and the show about the witches? Alyssa Milano. Remember her, Alyssa Milano? Well, she tweeted this Hill article out, and I was kind of curious why. And so it's called "The SCOTUS Just Quietly Slashed Your Sixth Amendment Rights." And I was curious, why did she tweet this article? And let me just give you the lead. And it's an opinion piece in the Hill by somebody named Evie Galvan Almanza. The Supreme Court recent assault on our rights. Now, this is a theme that they're going as if a recent assault on our rights has gone far beyond Roe versus Wade. The Supreme Court quietly issued a 6-3 ruling recently on Shin versus Martina Ramirez, siding against the two Arizonans on death row who sought to challenge their convictions in federal court after receiving shoddy legal support. Now, remember that line, because this is how they're spinning this is fascinating. The majority's rationale, which was based on a 1996 federal law, was that state sovereignty and legal expediency must be protected at all costs. Unfortunately, those costs are clear. The court's ruling slashed Americans' constitutional right to effective counsel by eviscerating the life-saving accountability mechanism that allows people to appeal unjust rulings. Now, and then they said the six conservative justices have plainly prioritized the legal system's power to convict and kill over the human right to live. Now, and then they say what was less clear is why. I don't know if you're going to start hearing about this a little more or not, but as I went and pulled up the decision on this particular item, and when they say in this article, the first line that I told you to remember, where it says, siding against two Arizona on death row who sought to challenge their convictions in federal court after receiving shoddy legal support. Now, when they say that, where do you think their shoddy legal support would have been in the appeals process? Okay, so first of all, they got both these. There's separate cases, but they both filed the same lawsuit. They're not saying that they got shoddy legal representation in their murder trials. They're not saying they got shoddy legal representation in the appeals process in the state of Arizona. They are not saying they got shoddy representation in their appeals process to the Arizona Supreme Court. Okay, so this is already appealed through two systems. They're saying then they went to the federal court trying to get it overturned in the federal court, and it's getting to the Supreme Court, and they're saying that they got shoddy representation in that system. Now, I read some of this case, and the problem is, in their appeal in federal court, they brought up new reasons that were never argued in the appeals process through the state courts, through the appeals court in the state of Arizona or the Arizona Supreme Court. And apparently there's a provision in law that saying that you cannot bring up new evidence in an appeals process. That was for the original process. So it's an interesting case, and I'm going to read through it more. Maybe I'll report on it more, but I just found it fascinating that this is one of those things that where, because the first line of this first line of the article, the Supreme Court's recent assault on our rights has gone far beyond Roe and Dobbs. I don't know if it's an assault on your rights. Do you have a right to vote still, and a right to vote in legislators who will actually write laws instead of just make some shit up on the fly? I don't think so. So anyway, it's an interesting case. Let's move on. Because, Brian Stelter. So, everyone remember Nina Jankowicz? Do you know who that is? Nina Jankowicz is the person who's going to be on that disinformation board that the government was going to put together to try to stop misinformation. Well, she was on Brian Stelter's shows over the weekend, and this Jerry Delaney noted that Nina Jankowicz was on Stelter's CNN show, and he didn't bring up one single example of her pushing falsehoods, which she's known for. And I'm going to pause the music here for a second because I want to make sure you hear this as we play this video. But, let's just watch. This is this is 8 minutes long. I didn't know it was 8 minutes. Okay, I'm going to leave. Maybe we're not going to go through the whole video because that's going to take up too much time. Anyway, he didn't bring up anything. Nina trashed the motivations of her critics and claimed that I did not post disinformation and denied spreading disinformation tweets on 2016 and related to Hunter Biden. Well, let's just watch the beginning of it here.
Nina Jankowicz is the researcher who briefly led the Disinformation Governance Board before it collapsed. She's the author of books like How to Lose the Information War and the new book, How to Be a Woman Online. Nina, welcome to Reliable.
Listen to her. By the way, I just want you to note how Brian, what's a good word for this? Sucks up to her and leads her into the questions she wants to answer the way she wants to answer them.
Thanks for having me.
You've had a
She looks, by the way, is it just me? Is it just me? Or does she look like the devil incarnate? Look at it. What's that look? Maybe it's just the way I stopped the screen, but she looks evil as hell. Anyway.
little bit of time to process what went wrong this spring.
What
when you
went
briefly
wrong?
were the executive director of this board and then had it all fall apart.
Yes.
Let's just start with what was the goal? What was the Department of Homeland Security trying to do?
According to Nina Jankowicz, what was the Department of Homeland Security trying to do? Please just tell us how you feel.
Well, the Disinformation Governance Board was a body that was meant to advise the many parts of the Department of Homeland Security that were working on disinformation.
Oh, you mean like on Twitter and Facebook, and you're going to just make suggestions of things that they should take down? Well, that seems to be disinformation. It doesn't help the Biden administration. Why don't you take that down? Well, we're not telling you to take it down. We just say that it's misinformation that's dangerous for the Americans.
To bring best practices to bear and to make sure that we were up with the latest research, the latest trends in disinformation and countering it, and make sure that work was being...
How do you counter disinformation? How do you counter? Do you counter it by putting out better information, or do you counter it by suggesting that that's disinformation? It's just terrible that all these social media companies. Maybe we should put an article in the Wall Street Journal and the Boston Globe saying how these people are just a hotbed of disinformation and shaming them into taking it down.
Done in a way that protected freedom of speech, protected civil rights, civil liberties, and privacy. Now, what the Republicans, and frankly some on the far left as well, spun was that this Disinformation Governance Board was going to be a ministry of truth. There is absolutely no foundation for that.
Really? Because you've written stuff that says...
The Disinformation Governance Board was never meant to police speech. It was not going to police speech. And frankly, Brian, I have written and researched about government efforts.
We weren't going to do anything that I'm known for.
To do just that. I am against them, just like many Americans are. And if that were part of the job
Brian,
description...
look at Brian's concerned face.
I wouldn't have taken the job.
So the sympathetic view to you is that...
What do you mean the sympathetic view to you? You give nothing but the sympathetic view, Brian. I'm going to see if he, at any point at this time, gives a counter view to Nina Jankowicz. But he's going to tell her what the sympathetic view to you is.
The Disinformation Board was the victim of disinformation. Is that how you feel?
It was a victim. And she is a victim.
It absolutely was the victim of disinformation. Yes. So all of these narratives that the Disinformation Governance Board was...
Nobody wants a disinformation board. I don't care if you're a victim of disinformation. Nobody wants a disinformation board.
Going to be this Orwellian ministry of truth, and all of the harassment and disinformation that was...
Oh, the harassment. They harassed me. Go cry in your Justice Kavanaugh cup. Hey, Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadians in the house. How you doing?
Directed against me was based on that falsehood. Based on that falsehood that was knowingly peddled by many people.
You mean your tweet?
You mean?
Wait. I should have pulled up some of the tweets and some of the things that she has written in the past. If she's saying that what she wrote, that posting what you typed with your own little fingers on your phone or on your computer were misinformation, especially the misinformation that you peddled yourself, well, I don't know what to tell you, Missy.
System and on Capitol Hill.
Why?
And frankly,
if that's true, what the heck was the Homeland Security Department doing? Why didn't they defend you?
Why didn't they defend you?
Why didn't the government explain what the heck it was doing?
Is this Brian saying the countervailing evidence or anything that goes against her? Critics say, because sources close to the Department of Homeland Security say, experts say.
Yeah, I have a lot of misgivings about the way things went down, and I think the first thing to point out, Brian, is that there was a disproportionate focus on me given my level of power within the department. I was not allowed to speak on my own behalf. And like frankly, all the communications...
Sometimes he looks like someone who's yanking it underneath that, where his waist shows, and he's just trying to hide it.
Decisions that were being made about how to talk about the board were made above my pay grade and above my level of decision making. I was the executive director, but there were a lot of people that were involved that didn't take advice, frankly, that I had given them, and I had hoped that things would go down differently.
Look, I would start with the name. Even just the name, right? It sounds Orwellian.
It does.
Any PR professional would say, don't call it that, They were just dumb mistakes made.
Right, and that belies the fact that it was meant to be an internal governing mechanism, governing how the...
Oh, internal as in hidden, behind closed doors. We just send out suggestions. We don't tell anybody what to do. It's supposed to be hidden.
The Department of Homeland Security did its work on disinformation, not governing the internet. And that was one of the reasons that I ended up making the choice to resign, right?
Well, wait a minute. If it's not governing the internet, what disinformation were you concerned with then? It's certainly not about governing the internet. Well, what specific disinformation are you talking about that doesn't come from outside of the government? So are you going to start talking about government disinformation? Because I'm all for that, but that doesn't seem like something that your board seemed to be interested in. Your board had no interest in disinformation that comes from various parts of the government. At least that was not my impression.
Because I felt like the government had just rolled over to the critics who had completely spun this narrative out of control based on absolutely nothing in reality, and the fact that they weren't able to defend me, the person that they had chosen, the expert that they had chosen to lead this board and safeguard this work. It just didn't feel like it was worth it, especially given the fact that my family was receiving threats.
And you were about to have a child, and I want to ask you about that in a moment.
Well, nobody cares.
Critics, there were many of them. They were incredibly loud. They say you're just a giant liberal, could never be appropriately hired for this job because you posted disinformation on Twitter yourself.
What put an example, Brian. Brian, let's see if you give some examples. Although we already know from the tweet that he didn't. But some of the examples, Brian, you could have brought dozens of examples of misinformation that young Miss Jankowicz had posted. But did you bring examples with you?
There's a lot of things that to unpack in that. First, let's start with the idea that anybody would be someone that anybody on the political spectrum would want to be policing speech. Again, at the kernel of that criticism is...
Oh my God! This is a woman who wrote a book on how women are harassed on the internet. When plenty of research out there states that men get far more shit on the internet than women do, although women get their share, might be a little different in nature, but everybody gets shit on the internet. Good God. Let me real quick. Thank you. First sponsor today, FTG Farm Inc. That's his
You
new,
are the new Streamlabs
sounds like
superstar
a new
sponsor of the day.
Who says with the six? This is an ad. Hang on, let me get some music for the ad. I'm sorry, I got to be paying attention here. What the hell am I doing? Let's see. Here we go. FTG Farm Inc. with the 223 in the tip jar. Thank you. You are the Streamlabs superstar sponsor of the day. Who says, with the success of our new FTG Black, we are confident in launching another product in partnership with Maddie's House of Geek. We are launching FTG Bombs. When you need to toss a covert FTG, look for FTG Bombs. FTG Bombs. Make your fucks silent but deadly. Thank you, FTG Farm Inc. That is extra special ad. I have a sneaky feeling that Tyre Alexander and Maddie were involved in that new ad. Thank you very much for sponsoring the show. All right, let's finish up with Nina Djokovic, whatever her name is, Jankowicz. Yeah, that's it. All right, let's finish this up here.
The idea that this board would be policing speech, which it wasn't going to do. If that were the case, there would be no person...
Then what the fuck is your point if you're not policing speech? Somehow, if you're a board fighting disinformation, what the exact fresh hell are you doing then? How do you fight disinformation? Well, you're policing somebody's speech because if it's somebody who gave misinformation and you're policing it, that's what you're doing. Whether you're not now, the question is the so-called misinformation and disinformation that you're policing actually misinformation or disinformation? That's more that's the bigger question. Hello, Spud Gun. I see you there.
Nonpartisan enough, particularly in the counter-disinformation sphere, who would appeal to everyone in that role. But did not post
the counter-disinformation spiel. What did she just say 10 seconds ago?
Particularly in the counter-disinformation sphere, there's a lot of things that to unpack in that.
Listen,
First, let's start with the idea that anybody would be someone that anybody on the political spectrum would want to be policing speech. Again,
that anyone would want to be policing speech, but then she's saying the counter-disinformation sphere. Make up your mind.
At the kernel of that criticism is the idea that this board would be policing speech, which it wasn't going to do. If that were the case, there would be no person nonpartisan enough, particularly in the counter-disinformation sphere.
In the counter-disinformation sphere. Does she not hear what she just said?
Who would appeal to everyone in that role. But I, did not post disinformation. The folks that are honing in on tweets that I sent in 2016 when I had fewer than 1,000 Twitter followers, that, you know, I was just sharing information about a presidential election as it was happening, as millions of other Americans were doing, using their right to freedom of speech. That wasn't disinformation, right? It was just sharing news. Other people honed in on tweets that they completely stripped of context. The one that the conservatives loved to really amplify was a tweet that they claimed that made me seem like I was calling the Hunter Biden laptop disinformation, when in fact I was just live tweeting a debate, you know, saying the exact words that then candidate Biden and President Trump were saying during a debate. Totally stripped of context.
So you still think you were the right hire?
Further into the context.
So you still think you were the right hire for the job?
So wow, what a tough and probing question from Brian Stelter. So you still think that you were the right hire? No, Brian, I really suck at every job I've ever been in, and I've never even been able to I failed my journalism class at Yale. But no, I'm not the right hire. I'm a dumb bitch, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. What do you think she's gonna say, Brian? You idiot!
Yes, I've done a ton of research over the past. Go ahead.
I was just going to, so you believe you were the right hire, the government screwed up with this thing, but now the question is, now what? Is the New York Times right that this is an unresolvable problem, that there's nothing Washington can do because Republicans and Democrats can't even agree on what this information is?
I don't think it's an untouchable problem. We've seen other countries with highly polarized media environments, for example.
I don't care what other countries do. Most other countries don't have freedom of speech codified in their constitutions. So they can get away with a lot of things in their governments that we cannot and should not be able to do here. You dumb bitch.
The United Kingdom do really good work on this topic. But what we need is for our politicians to recognize that this is a democratic problem, small d democratic problem. It knows no political...
No. It's a big D Democrat problem.
Party. Its ultimate victim is democracy, right? And we need those who are frankly benefiting from
democracy. Oh, democracy. Democracy. We're not a democracy.
Political use of disinformation to recognize that they are putting our national security at risk and our democracy at risk.
Yes. Our national security and our democracy at risk. No, we're 51 democracies, plus give or take two a couple more. But come on now. We're not putting our, what did she say? Our what? Hang on. Our
day disinformation is going to come. We need those who are frankly benefiting from the political use of disinformation to recognize that they are putting our national security at risk and our democracy at risk. Someday disinformation is going to come for them as well. And nobody wants that. We want people to be able to agree on facts and make well-informed choices at the ballot box. Ultimately, that's what's at stake here. And until we come to that reconciliation in Washington, then yes, it's going to be extremely difficult to do this work, as my own experience has shown.
When you say make informed choices at the ballot box, do you just mean vote for Democrats?
Yes, she does.
No.
Yes, you do. You lying bitch. Hello, Chrome. You lying bitch. You know that's what you mean.
That's the right's criticism,
Yeah,
which is that disinformation is used as a weapon
It
to promote liberal
is.
agendas.
It is.
That's not true, right? We have seen, and I've even pointed out on Twitter over the past.
Time magazine wrote an entire story on how that all the media and social media, whatever, all teamed up to push the agenda of getting Joe Biden elected. And they crowed about being successful at it, being the labeling things as disinformation, crowing about their own, in fact, leveling their own disinformation or hiding information from the American people that, had they not hidden Hunter Biden's laptop, probably would have changed the election. Now, that has nothing to do with anything nefarious, as far as this is not about counting ballots, it's not about any of that shit. They did a full media push to get Joe Biden elected. And if Joe Biden got 81 million votes, which I am not disputing at this time, it's because of the literal, even one-sided media push for one candidate. If you don't think that, and talk about just even misinformation through lack of dissemination, as in Joe Biden's laptop. The Hunter Biden laptop is just one small part of it. Joe Biden not even having to go on the campaign trail because the media campaigned for him. It was nuts. I've been through every election since 1984. And I've never seen anything like it. I've seen the media just completely one-sided media. And even the Fox News of the world was in that. It was just the weirdest thing I've ever seen. The establishment, and never mind. I'm not a Trump guy, but I voted for him because I knew he was the better candidate, the better option for the United States at the time. Joe Biden, anyone who paid attention, because most people don't pay attention. That's the problem. No, most people don't spend every day looking at the news and looking at what's going on, looking at who says what, who does this, who's bubbling through a speech in Iowa calling someone fat. And you're a lion dog. You're a lion dog face pony soldier.
You're a lion dog face pony soldier.
99% of the country just go, oh, well, what's going on CNN and ABC News and whatever, and I'll look at the front page of the Des Moines Register and the Columbia something Coast Bugle, and I'll just do well. That looks good. There's a headline. Oh, is that what happened? Oh, I never heard of this. These jagoffs.
Last week, disinformation that has been used by the Democrats as well. We need to get back to a point where
yes, I am old.
We are all putting the truth forward, and that people want to know what the truth is. In my case, people didn't want to know what the truth was about me. They were told that I was the enemy.
Oh, good God. We put your own words on the screen. We quote tweeted you. We took screenshots of your tweets of what you're about. We read your threads. You are, good God, we know what you're about, Nina.
They were happy to do no further research in that regard and continue to badger me and my family rather than uncover my research, my writing, which has much more nuanced views and advocates for things like information literacy, certainly not policing speech, which, again, I do not agree with.
Yes, you do.
So you have a newborn at home.
You wrote a book about...
Spring and summer been like for you,
Oh, how does it... And Brian goes, how do you feel? Okay, I'm done with this. I can't anymore. It's almost the end. There's only like a couple minutes left, but it's basically Brian blowing smoke up our asses. Anyway, all right, let's get through the rest of the things today, and we'll get out of here. Oh, hey, guys, now this next one, I'm sorry. This is shut up. I just want to okay, I want you to prepare yourself because new fashion trend for men, and oh man, I don't know how to describe it. This is 13 seconds. You're just gonna, guys, I'm telling you, I can't wait. I can't wait for these to come out at Gap and Target and Walmart. I guarantee I guarantee you are going to want to get some of this. But before I do, thank you. This is Kyle with a drop of a 5 in the YouTube Super Chat. It says, P-Dog isn't old. He just has a lot of experience, boys. Yes, my XP, I'm almost the point of being a boss when it comes to XP. So watch yourselves. Anyway, thank you very much, Kyle. Greatly appreciated. All right, guys, this is a new fashion trend. You'll be seeing this at Target and Gap, and maybe eventually TJ Maxx when they, because they'll overstock this a little bit, but, you can still pick it up at TJ Maxx or Marshall's or something. The newest fashion trend for men, and here you go. Here you go. This is fantastic. Okay, yes, I am. I can't wait to get what the actual fuck is that? Okay, someone, there's a designer. There's a designer out there that thought this was a good idea for men. Yes, Brent, I know that you are you're running to the mall right as we speak. You're like, where are my car keys? I'm going to the mall. I got to get me one of those. Don't ask me why I can't, where that shit came from. Moving on. Okay, now this is one that got me going here. Now, I don't know why I had to bring that up, but apparently the Church of England is now, or somebody at the Church of England thought this was a good idea. And this is kind of related to that last one. Church of England official position is now that there is no official definition of a woman. Oh my God. Did I have this on here twice? Yeah, I did. Hang on, let me get rid of that. So in the Telegraph, the Church of England has said that there is no official definition of a woman. In a written reply to a question submitted to General Synod, a senior bishop said that although the meaning of the word woman was previously thought to be self-evident, additional care was now needed. The question was posed as institutions grapple with the ongoing debate surrounding trans rights and what defines a woman. Okay, you can read the rest of it yourself. Here's my only question. And I'm going to go biblical that I don't normally do. Exactly what was Eve then? Was Eve a trans black woman? I don't know. I don't know. What? We need to be sensitive. Church officials currently engaged in living in love and faith. The institution's ongoing and landmark project to tackle how questions about identity, sexuality, relationships, and marriage fit within the church. The issue of defining a woman has emerged in written questions to General Synod, the church's legislative body, in which Adam Kendry, a lay member of the Synod, and a representative of the Royal Navy asked, quote, what is the Church's England definition of a woman? In response, Dr. Robert Innes, the bishop in Europe, said that there is no official definition. Okay, I suppose that doesn't mean anything. The bishop in Europe, who was also replying in his role as the chairman of the Faith and Order Commission, said in his written response, there's no official definition, which reflects the fact that until fairly recently, definitions of this kind were thought to be self-evident as reflected in the marriage liturgy. Now, I can understand that answer now. They weren't saying that there's no definition of woman. They're just saying that we've never had to give a definition because you would think it would be self-evident what a woman is. However, the LLF project, has begun to explore the marriage complexities associated with gender identity. I mean, your fashion statements, and points to the need for additional care and thought to be given in understanding our commonalities and differences as the people made in the image of God. But there's some pushback within the church. Reverend Angela Berners Wilson, who became the first woman to be ordained as a priest in England in 1994 and who was recently retired. Are you sure she's the first woman? Because we don't have a definition. who has recently retired, told the Telegraph in response to the Bishop of Europe's answer, quote, "I'm not totally happy with it. I mean, I do think certain things like men can't have babies just to complete the obvious thing." So yeah, she's going to be labeled a TERF. Maya Forstater. Oh, that's the woman who just won her case. Executive director of the Sex Matters campaign group described the Bishop's answer as shocking, saying that the concepts of male and female did not need to have a formal official definition because they are older than human life itself. Well, I think he was kind of making that same point. I'm not sure. She added, when the government redefined women through the Gender Recognition Act, the Church of England could have stuck with its long-established understanding, which makes sense whether your starting point is biology or the Bible, which I'm just sorry. By the way, when I said Handbasket is the name of the stream, yes, Handbasket. You know what that means. Handbasket. We are going to hell in a handbasket. Okay. Now, interesting article in Examiner. I'm not going to go through it too much, but talking about how the Republican Party has an opportunity to become the parent party, which almost seems self-evident these days, but they're relating to Roe versus Wade. I'm more relating it to parental rights party, which I hope that continues to trend, but I'm not going to read the article, but you can check that one out yourself. I also wanted to talk about the January 6th committee briefly today, and I'm going to finish up with this, and I'll leave the other articles for you to find yourself. An interesting thing, they're going to talk this week in the January 6th committee. They're going to talk about, well, here, I'm going to show you 3 different articles that kind of do this same theme. The House Select Committee is investigating January 6th attack at the U.S. Capitol. We'll be holding another public hearing on Tuesday, this time focusing on the role of extremists that day. Now, this little extremist theme is coming up in regards to a couple groups, which I have questions about. So committee member Jamie Raskin said Sunday on Face the Nation that the upcoming hearing will continue the story of Donald Trump's attempt to overthrow the presidential election. Raskin noted on Sunday that the committee has so far been outlining the former President Trump's pressure campaigns on the vice president, the Justice Department, state lawmakers, and local officials ahead of Congress' planned certification of Electoral College on January 6th. But now they're going to talk about extremists, and I'll move on to a second article to show you that this is the theme of the day. On CNN, close this. This is CNN. The House Select Committee is investigating the January 6th insurrection. Scheduled a 7th hearing for July 12th. That would be tomorrow. They moved it to 1 p.m. It was originally going to be at 10 a.m. While the committee did not announce the hearing's topic in its notice, Democratic Representative Adam Pencilneck, the dickhead from California, a member of the committee, has previously told CBS Face the Nation over the past weekend that the next hearing will focus on the efforts to assemble the mob on the Mall and connections between the Trump White House and various extremist groups at the rally. Now, his connection to various extremist groups, well, here's what they're going to talk about, and the AP spells it out. The Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers extremist groups. So this is a basically a talking point in language that much of the press is using. The Proud Boys and Oath Keepers extremist groups are expected to be the focus of the upcoming hearing in the U.S. House Committee probing the January 6th insurrection. Leaders of both groups are behind bars as they await trial on the Capitol attack. So here's the article that they put out, and I'm just going to read the early paragraphs. Here it is again. Trump associates ties to extremists, again, extremists, probed by the January 6th panel. Now, here's something interesting that I got to ask the question, because people like me who remembered the origins of the Proud Boys, okay, and I want to find out what this what would they say, because they say right-wing extremist groups. Okay, Okay, so they say, right, what exactly do they mean by right-wing extremist groups? What are the beliefs or principles of this group that makes them right-wing extremists? And is there a corresponding group on the left that they would label as left-wing extremists if they talked about them in the media? For example, Antifa, I would say they could label them as a left-wing extremist group, because the Proud Boys was started as an answer to left-wing extremist groups who would attack people on the basis of their ideology. So when Milo Yiannopoulos was going to speak at a college in California, and there were riots, and all these leftists were, attacking the people who come to that event, the Proud Boys grew out of the idea that, hey, maybe there should be people out here who are proud of being Americans and would protect the people who go to these rallies. Or if they, people go to a Trump rally and left-wing protesters would come and attack the Trump supporters who came to those rallies. And so those groups were that's how that group got started. Not by necessarily the ideology, but just the fact that they wanted to protect people who would come to rallies on the right. But somehow, over this process, over the several years, they've been labeled as a right-wing extremist group, when actually they started out as more of a drinking club. And so, but if the media labels that, and you saw that in the debate between Biden and Donald Trump, when Chris Wallace was trying to talk about, will you denounce the Proud Boys, and Donald Trump said something, yeah, stand by and stand back, or whatever he said, okay? But they made it as though this is some white supremacist group that has principles like they're just like the KKK or they're terrorists or whatever. When in reality, the Proud Boys has always been and always acted sort of as kind of a security. They self-appointed security to protect people who would attend, speeches or rallies or whatever that were on the right. And that's when they would show up. They spent a lot. They were in Portland a lot fighting against Antifa. Well, the media loves Antifa, even though Antifa is a violent left-wing extremist group. And so they got labeled as a right-wing extremist group because they were always fighting the left-wing extremist group, which is pretty nutty. And then the Oath Keepers is a completely different group. They weren't even a political group. They were somewhat political, but they were more American values, this and that. People the name Oath Keepers is people who maintain their oath to the Constitution, and they're mostly former military, former police officers, and former public servants. And they had a group called Oath Keepers. But because they sometimes have helped be security for people like Steve Bannon or Roger Stone, well then, they're right-wing extremists because Roger Stone, Steve Bannon, they're right-wing extremists. Well, give me the philosophy that they have that makes them right-wing extremists. Because the Proud Boys' main focus was freedom of speech, freedom of assembly. If that's a right-wing extremist notion, then that would make me a right-wing extremist, which I don't ever consider myself a right-wing extremist. I'm a pretty moderate dude for the most part. I'm pretty mainstream, modern thinking of a family man of my age. So what exactly is this right-wing extremist group that they keep talking about? If someone tells you the Proud Boys should be labeled as terrorists or right-wing extremists, ask, well, what are the philosophies of the Proud Boys that you think makes them right-wing extremists? And almost always, I think the leftists would say, oh, they're just racist white male. Well, wait a minute. The racist white guys have a Cuban whatever leader? Now, granted, the leader, Tario, might be an op, but who knows? Anyway, so they start this article after members of the far-right Oath Keepers extremist group stormed the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. Their leader called someone on the phone with an urgent message for then-President Trump. Another extremist told investigators. So this is... While gathered in a private suite at the Phoenix Park Hotel, an Oath Keeper member says he heard their leader, Stuart Rhodes, reportedly urge the person on the phone to tell Trump to call up militia groups to fight to keep the president in power. Really? An Oath Keeper member says he heard their leader say that. I just want to fight, Rhodes said after hanging up with the person who denied Rhodes' appeal to speak directly to the Republican president. Oh, so he was talking to a third-party person who might be able to talk to the president, but they're saying that they're calling it Donald Trump's ties to extremist groups. Really? Federal prosecutors said they do not believe Rhodes was speaking. Have not said who they believe Rhodes was speaking to on that call, which was detailed in court documents in the case of an Oath Keepers member who has pleaded guilty in the riot. Attorney for Rhodes says that call never happened. The story, however, raised questions about whether the extremist group boss, they keep using the word extremist over and over, may have had the ear of someone close to Trump. Okay, not to Trump. An issue that could take center stage when the House committees that is investigating the insurrection holds its next public hearing on Tuesday. So anyway, I still haven't figured out when they call them a right-wing extremist group. Tell me the philosophies that they have that are right-wing extremist. I'm not sure. So anyway. The only other articles that I had that I've got to today, 4chan users claim to have hacked Hunter Biden's iCloud account, and it's glorious of what we've heard from it. Now, I don't know what's true and what's not true, so I'm not going to talk a whole lot about it because I don't know enough. But they said the contents of his iCloud account has been hacked by the users of 4chan, who posted screenshots purported to be from his phone and computer on the website's main political forum late Saturday night. The administrators on 4chan have been trying to keep them down as fast as they can, but there's more juicy stuff that you'll be hearing about in the next few days. That's all I'm going to say about that. And then this one that just pissed me off to no end, a retired 3-star general. Now this is confusing. Retired 3-star general Gary Valesky suspended after tweet at Joe Biden. Suspended on Twitter or what? Army suspended a 3-star general after he appeared to make fun of First Lady Jill Biden. Retired Lieutenant General Gary Valesky, a former spokesman for the Army, responded to a tweet from Biden about the Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v. Wade, in which the First Lady remarked that women's rights had been, quote, stolen, end quote. Biden tweeted that for nearly 50 years, women have had the right to make our decisions about our bodies. Well, you can make decisions about your body still. You know what? Are you saying that the fact that you can't abort a child, which I believe it should be legal, but I think there should be severe restrictions. If you're saying that you can't make decisions about your body because of that, are you saying that I can't make decisions about my body if my employer tells me I have to go get juice? The juice, the jab, the juice, the Fauci juice? Would that be not me not being able to make decisions about my own body? Anyway, Volsky responded, but here's what Valesky responded. Glad to see you finally know what a woman is. Volsky's tweet has been since taken down. The Army suspended Volsky, who had signed a $92 an hour contract to advise active duty officers as a mentor. So he's retired, but he was he's on contract to mentor officers while it conducts an investigation, according to USA Today. So they suspended him from there. Here it is, right here. For nearly 50 years, women, blah, 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 blah. Glad to see you finally know what a woman is. He's retired. He doesn't give a shit. In fact, they probably have him on contract $92 an hour, whatever he's doing, just because it's a little side gig. He's retired. He don't give a fuck. He gets his pension. Are they going to take his pension away? No, if they take his pension away, I'm going to be pissed. But anyway, so good for him. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I got to call it a day. Do I even have anything else open? Let me check here. Oh, I do. Let's see. Oh, the teachers union is going to say that Biden's plan to recruit 250,000 tutors to support the kids who they fucked up during the pandemic. You know what? The teachers union is supporting this because they're probably going to try to bring those tutors into the teachers union so they have more power. Fuck all of them. I don't care. They fucked up, and homeschool your kids if you can. And then there's a whole section on Biden's mental decay from Technofog, which I'm not going to get into because I don't have time, but we all know Biden has a serious mental decay. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I got to go. Hey, but thank you all for being here today. 33 people here, 28 likes. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Also, thank you to our sponsors today. That would be Tyre Alexander, and this is Kyle. Appreciate you guys very much. Tyre Alexander, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you for that. And if you want to sponsor the show, pdognight.live up here or YouTube Super Chats. There's a couple other options in the description down below. And please hit the like button, share the stream before, during, after the stream. If you're watching on replay, put a comment in the comment section. Thank you again for all the people who participate in the chat. Love all of you. You have a great day, and I got to go. My name is P Dog Night, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is P-Dog Night, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Night channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P Dog Night, and I'm out of here.